Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 64. It's Ilya here, and as always I'm super glad to see you on my channel, and I really hope you had an amazing week of trading. So as you know, in this video we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, and what can we expect for the upcoming one. So to be honest, this was one of the worst weeks that I've ever had. It was all a bunch of consolidation, a bunch of manipulation. I didn't take almost any trades. I just had a few setups and a few trades on Thursday that resulted in break even. So just ending up the month in overall profits, which is perfectly fine, but it was a very slow month for me. But right now we have September opening. I really hope the market will start moving nicer in a more trending manner, and then we're gonna start capitalizing on some nice setups. So just to update you, the course platform and everything is right now ready. So I'm gonna be launching the website in a bit, so you can go check it out right now. You can enter your email so you can receive all the news, and once it's out there I will make sure to inform on my social media and here as well, and I would really love for you to check it out. If you're new to the channel as well, this is all about trading. I share educational content, I share weekly analysis, and much more is to come. So make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell in order not to miss the content that is upcoming. And if you already did, let's see what do we have for this choppy week. As always, starting from the DXY, the US dollar currency index, to see what do we have for the dollar and to potentially get a little bias of what the USDs might do. Alright, so as you can see, we have a weekly bearish candle that is filling that wick right here. So we expected a little bit of an upside, a little bit of pullback, but as you can see, the dollar just keeps climbing to the downside. But this was a result of the FOMC meeting. As you can see, if we go 5 days before on market open, we have a little indecision, tries to push down, tries to push up, fails, then a huge indecision, and then on Friday we actually melted to the downside, creating a very nice lower low. So as you can see, what was the price action this week? Guess what? We had a consolidation, so it wasn't really clear where the market was going. Then we had this massive manipulation candle right here during the meeting, and then actually on Friday the market just plummeted to the downside, creating this lower low formation right here. So if I'm just looking at it from a technical perspective, well, I would say shorts. Why? Because we have a broken consolidation, we have a broken structure on the left. Right now the market might encounter a little bit of a support from this demand area right here, so I would expect a little bit of a reaction. But what I will be watching is how the market will start behaving around those areas, because we're really low. Like, the market is really low right now. We have the supportive level, so I still think that the dollar should provide us with that pullback. But again, we never know in those current uncertain markets what it's gonna do. So if the dollar is bearish, then I keep selling. All right, so what do I expect on the dollar is for some sort of a retracement. I can drop the FIP as well for further confidence. As you can see, the 50% is almost aligning with that structure. So as long as we have a nice pullback right here, the market's starting to slow down around those areas, then I can be looking for shorts potentially. And this is the outlook of the dollar. Nothing significant to speak about. So let's see what is our bias on EU. Euro USD weekly time frame making around 50 to 60% of the DXY. We have a perfectly opposite correlation. As you can see, we have that nice wick right here indicating selling pressure, and we expected the pullback. However, if everyone expects sells, guess what the banks will do? They will push the market up, and we have this nice bullish candle to the upside for this week. Dropping to the daily time frame, having a look at the most recent 5 days, as you can see, consolidation, a little bit of a bullishness and consolidation. So what do we have from a daily time frame though? I believe I spoke about this from the previous volume, is this very strong supportive level that the market is failing to break. You see, first tap, second, third, then we tried to tap it for the fourth time, but we actually created a higher low formation. All right, so because this low is higher than this low, right? We have a high, higher low. So right now we can start expecting a higher high. As you can see, on Friday we have this strong push to the upside after some massive manipulation on Thursday. All right, so what we can see right here, guys, this was from the previous week. This was the only short opportunity that I saw, and getting into this week, 24th of August, push up, push down, and just started to consolidate. Really nothing to be traded, right? And then what did we have? Right here we had a massive spike to the upside, then we have a spike to the downside. This is a very common manipulation pattern banks introducing buyers, so buy stops, then stopping them out to the downside, introducing sellers, stopping everyone out before actually launching the market to the upside. So again, I'm gonna try to keep this analysis very short and simple because we didn't have any opportunities at all. But what I expect right now, if I did everything, we know that the market is broken above all that structure, even this one on the left. Right now it tries to push up, but this is Friday, right? So I don't pay attention too much to Friday's price action because on Monday everything changes, right? So I would wait for the market to pull back a little bit around those areas, and I just want to see if the market is going to form a higher low formation in order for the market to pump to the upside and potentially reach these areas right here. All right, so I am bullish on the euro, waiting for Monday to play out to see if I'm gonna have a little bit of a pullback, or the market is just gonna skyrocket to the upside, or it might plummet strongly to the downside as well. But overall bullish outlook on euro, so let's see what happens. Euro JPY weekly time frame, what we can see right here is that we have this nice bearish engulfing candle. Then the market tries to push up but found a lot of resistance from the top from this weekly candle, as you can see. So it already starts to build up a story. And if you go right here, what we can see is that the market is an overall uptrend. So I always just focus on the most recent price action. I don't do like this to try to see, all right, well, we're overall in a downtrend or we're overall in an uptrend. No. I just zoom in like this, and what I can see is that we have a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then the market pulled back down to create a higher low because we failed to break below this one. So basically we are still trending up. However, if I go to the 5 days of price action, you see we launched to push higher, but we failed to break. Then we had a day of consolidation, another day of consolidation, and then on Friday we had that manipulation to the upside to almost break the high of this week, and then we launched to the downside, resulting in a nice lower low. As you can see, well, it's not a lower low, but it was a nice push to the downside. So from a full hourly price action, what do we have? So only opportunity that I was looking at was around right here, but it really wasn't that clear. So what do we have right here is this nice push to the upside on the hourly time frame, a nice pullback to the downside, but this was again Asian trade, as you can see, 4 o'clock. And then if I drop to the 15-minute time frame, yep, exactly, there is that retest. So potential entry is around the break of this sort of area right here. So as you can see, a nice break, retest exactly into the zone, and then we start to pump massively to the upside. So this was the only trade that I saw on UJ, but it was like 4 o'clock. I'm not trading by that time. This is Asian trade. So yeah, I did not manage to capitalize on it. But going back to have a look what is happening right now. We had a nice push to the upside, potential pullback. So another tradable opportunity on the break and on the retest, full hourly price action. But have a look right here, since 26th up until the 27th, so this is a day and a half, the market just consolidated around that area. And if you drop to the hourly time frame, you're gonna see this whole consolidation box and the madness that started to occur. Strong bearish pressure, massive bullishness, manipulation up, manipulation down, and then we finally make the move to the upside. So I usually don't try to trade price action like this. This is manipulation. Some people really can trade this, which I really love when I see people getting those sniper entries. It's something that I'm working out as well. But this was a pretty common manipulation pattern. Then we launched to the upside, but as you can see, the market fails to sustain the pressure and massively goes down, and right now sitting again at that support. So what can we expect, guys? Well, when I see an equal higher low, which we're creating right now, I immediately shift my bias to more sell. Why? Because we have this left shoulder head, and right now we can potentially expect the right shoulder for the market to start pushing down. However, we are overall bullish on euro. As you know, euro USD, we were bullish bias. So very curious to see what is gonna happen with EJ. All right, so we have broken below that trend line, so we can expect a retest as well. We can build up all the confluences if we drop a Fibonacci, as you can see, 50%. But I'm just gonna be patient, wait for Monday, wait to see what's gonna happen. If I have a pullback, if I have the rejections right here, the selling pressure, then potentially I'm gonna be looking for shorts. But again, this depends on EU and on USD JPY as well, because UJ drives all the JPY pairs. So this is EJ, overall sell bias, just very patient and curious to see what's Monday gonna bring me, and then make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis on Telegram. Euro Aussie weekly time frame, after 4 weeks of consolidation at the top, we finally have some massive selling pressure introduced. As you can see, we have a massive bearish weekly engulf to the downside. Daily time frame, we started the week with again a little bit of a consolidation, but guess what happens? Like the last 3 days, it just plummeted to the downside, Like it just started to pump with no pullbacks at all, right? As you can see, all of that consolidation box right here, all of this consolidation, it just started to pump to the downside without a stop, making it almost not possible to get a tradable opportunity. It was just possible from an hourly time frame perspective, like there was one right here on this consolidation box, but the market was just slowly dribbling to the downside without providing any clear setup. So what can we expect for next week? Well, we can definitely start looking for shorts if the market will provide us with some pullbacks. All right, so this happens when the market is consolidating and then it just explodes to the downside. This happens, and if your plan says that you will be trading with a retest and you don't have a retest, well, guess what? You don't have a trade and you move on to the next one. So the analysis on this one is pretty simple. As you can see, we have a little bit of a lower high formation right here. So I would wait for the market to pull back a little bit to create a lower high. We have some space like to reach this whole area right here, which is pretty strong, and right now we're tapping into it. So I would expect a little bit of a reaction, but still I will remain with my sell bias because everything is pointing to the downside. So what I will be waiting is just for a lower high to be created around those areas right here, and then potentially to take the market down. So very simple analysis on EA, just waiting to see what Monday has for me if I have a little pullback, and then potentially striking the market on Tuesday and Wednesday. Let's have a look what do we have for the Aussie, starting from Aussie USD. And as you can see, why EA dropped like this, because we had a massive bullishness on AU. So we started the week again with a little bit of a consolidation, but as you can see, we had 4 days of bullishness. Just the first one consolidated, then we have that bullish engulf, but after this bullish engulf, it was still not clear that the market was pushing up. However, as you can see, I believe I spoke about it on the previous weekly outlook, we had that ascending price action. We have a higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher low. It never broke below, so we kept buying. But I tried to trade this one. However, as you can see, this was the bullish close around these areas right here. So it was still looking like a little bit of a triangular formation. It had a break, it had a retest, but I just didn't see it clearly. And then we had that nice explosion to the upside. And afterwards, I started to look for buys, all right? However, the market pushed up, started to consolidate, created a higher high, pulled back. So you should be taking trades around those areas. Right here, I believe I tried to capitalize on some, but I just couldn't see the setup clear enough. And then when I was looking on the next day, we had that massive spike. So I said, nope, I'm not gonna be trading. And I just said to myself, well, let's just leave this week behind and stop trying to force any trades. But as you can see, AU just massively exploded to the upside. So what we can expect right now, well, it's pretty simple. We just have to wait for a pullback, all right? So I don't want to be buying that high. I tried to get in around those areas. I couldn't get in, so I am not going to be forcing any trades. We have that area for a potential retest, but as long as the market gives me a little bit of a pullback, even a 38.2 is enough. So the move started from right here, and when the market starts to find resistance, if I have at least a 38.2 Fibonacci, then I will start to look for buys. All right. So let's see what Monday has for us. So far, it's extremely extended. So I believe we're going to have some sellers coming in, some profit taking as well. So patiently waiting for that pullback and then potentially taking it into the highs. Also JPY, almost the same price action. Right here, we have a strong bullish engulfing candle breaking the last 2 weeks. Daily time frame to have a look how the market developed over the last 5 days. You see right here, we started from 24th of August, a little bit of an indecision candle forming that higher low formation. And since then, we started to pump to the upside, creating a very nice higher high on the daily time frame. So right now, from a daily perspective, we can start looking for a little bit of a retracement to start looking for some swing trades and potential continuations. The market is a little bit too high, as you can see, but yeah, if it just keeps climbing, then there is no point. We should be looking for reversals. All right, so I tried to capitalize on AJ. It was on the 26th of August, so it was around that area right here. So as you can see, we started with a consolidation. We tried to push up, we failed to push up, we again try, fail, but then we have this nice introduction of bullishness breaking above this structure. So up until then, I didn't want to take a trade, but after this happened, then I started to looking for trades. All right, so what I had right here is this nice push to the upside, this pullback, the slowdown. But once the market started to break below this higher low formation, I said, well, nah, I don't want to be taking a trade. And if I just drop to the 15-minute time frame, just have a look at the mess right here. So I was thinking to take that trade right here. As you can see, this was 2:30. This was London session, New York session. I wanted to take this one, but all of that consolidation, I was like, nah, let's just leave it. And as you can see, like if my profit was above for a high, I would have been held in a bunch of consolidation right here. Well, profit was hit, but it wasn't just the higher probability trade that I always look for. But this was the only setup that I saw on AJ, and then it just massively exploded to the upside. All right. So 4-hourly time frame, we already made that little pullback. As you can see, we already created a higher low formation. Right now, the market is trying to push up, and pretty confusing price. As you can see, we have a strong spike to the downside. We tried, and right now we're staying in the middle. So what I usually do on this situation is I draw my highs and my lows, but the highs and lows are not clear right now because we have a massive push. We have a strong bearish engulfing candle. We have a big wick right here, so I cannot draw a zone like this. Right, so what I will do on AJ is I will just keep this line, and I will see how the market will develop around right here. We have a few scenarios that might happen. The market, let me just drop to the hourly. The market might come to test that area again to consolidate and then provide us with an opportunity to the upside. The market might push to the upside, find resistance, and then start to consolidate again, or we might have a break in a retest to the upside. So plenty of scenarios, and this is why I'm always patient. Let's see what Monday has for us, and then we strike on Tuesday. Let's have a look at the NZDs, my only pairs that I traded this week. So starting from the weekly time frame, as you can see, we had a beautiful higher low formation right here and a massive bullish engulf breaking above the high of this wick, indicating lots of bullish pressure. All right. So as you can see, since the start of the week, we were looking a little bit bearish, but then the market, when it opened, we have that indecision, bullish engulf, and after this one, I actually told myself, all right, so we have that double bottom formation, we're breaking above, so I can start looking for buys. Dropping on the 4-hourly time frame, we started with that consolidation, then we had this massive push into the highs, and then I believe I looked for a trade around these areas. Let me just drop to the hourly. Yeah, here is my trade. So it was very similar to AJ. So I have this break in a retest right here, and I took the trade from this area. Beautiful break, beautiful retest, nice slowdown, and on the 15-minute time frame, how I executed was on this wick right here, exactly at the bottom. So I had this nice bullish engulfing candle to introduce the pressure. My stop loss was below like this, 7 pips. And then I was looking for a higher high. My target was at 6555, I think. Yes, something like this. This was my target. This is a Fibonacci target as well for a nice 4R. However, the market nicely pushed up, found resistance right here, and I just secured break even. And then what the market did, slowly crawled to the downside, tapped me out of break even, and then guess what? Boom, take profit. Well, it hurt, but it is what it is. Then we had that nasty manipulation to the downside. Then we again had a break, retest, and we continued to pump to the upside. But this was pretty nasty right here because it was a beautiful trade. Yeah, just have a look if you hold that trade, how much R&R you can achieve. But this is just me dreaming about it right now, so let's cut the noise. All right, so this was my only trade. I took NJ as well, which I'm gonna show you, which was pretty much the same. So what do we have right now? Is the market strongly advancing to the upside, massive bullish pressure. So what we can do, well, of course, we can wait for a little bit of a pullback, at least a 38.2 fib. So because as you can see right here, if I catch this from the high to the low, we have a 38.2 fib right here. So I can start looking for longs, and right now looking for the same situation to occur, a little bit of a pullback, then on the hourly time frame, a little bit of structure to form, and then I'm gonna start looking for continuations to the upside. NZD/JPY, pretty much the same. We have a very strong bullish candle to the upside in an overall bullish market. What I can see right now is that the market is gonna clash with a very strong resistance area right here. As you can see from a daily time frame, every time the market tapped this area right here at 71,500, it just melted to the downside. Then we slowly climb again, tap right here, and we start to create a downtrend. So the market is currently tapping into that area, so we can expect some sort of a reaction. It might not be that major, or it might be the time when it's gonna actually break it, so we never know, right? So what do we have this week on this one? Again, we start with a little bit of a consolidation right here, but then the market starts to create a nice bullish price action with no pullbacks at all. So when this happens, we usually drop to the hourly time frame. I believe I was looking for an opportunity right here, but I wasn't provided with the setup. And my trade was actually right here, I believe, on the 26th. Yes, no, this is 27th. Let me see if this is the trade that I took. Yeah, this is the trade. So this was pretty similar to NU. So as you can see, again, we have a break of that structure with this bullish candle, and then on the retest of this of the EMA as well, and of the 50% of this bullish engulfing candle, stop loss below, and then again targets for a higher high for the FIP. I believe it was around 3R. The market strongly pushed to the upside. I didn't take any profits right here. My TP was higher. And as you can see, we created a double top. We retraced lower. We pulled back for a lower high. And then we got stopped out of break even. Then the market tries to push again, fails. And then again, break even. Very nasty market this week. But it is what it is. Just this opportunity that I saw. But yeah, I believe there wasn't a trade. So there is no sense to delve into it right now. So going to the forward time frame, very similar price action to AJ. We have this area right here. We have a one candle of a strong pullback, and we have a huge wick in the right now the market is staying in the middle. So pretty nasty price action right here with a strong pressure to the downside, and then immediately coming into the middle. So what I will need to see is the market come at a level and start to stabilize, all right? So either come back here, start to create a little bit of a consolidation to form a supportive level, and then on the break and the retest, I will be looking to target the highs right here. But if this doesn't happen and the market straight pushes into the highs right here, then potentially I'm gonna readjust and see how I'm gonna approach this one. So far, looking for longs, but I need to buy it low. So what I really want to see is the market to pull back around those areas, start finding some support, and then providing me with an opportunity to take it higher. Alright, let's have a look at the USD/JPY weekly time frame. So what happened right here from the weekly perspective, we have a nice pump into the highs, but the market failed to sustain the bullish pressure and actually push the price all the way down, closing bearish below this area. So I think that there is pretty strong supportive areas right here. As you can see, this was the level that the market failed to break. First time, higher high. Second time, equal higher low. Then we usually look for head and shoulders, and this is exactly what happened from this wick. You see the market pulled back. It was a little bit of a consolidation. As you can see, we have 25th. We have 1, 2, 3 days of consolidation, and then we finally start to melt to the downside. So I believe I will be more sell biased than buy biased on UJ. Yeah, definitely. So what do we have right here? I couldn't spot any tradable opportunities. The market pushed up, pulled back. This is the previous week. So the market opens right here with a little bit of a consolidation. We pushed above, then we start to consolidate, push below, potential higher low formation right here. But then again, we have all of that news. So yeah, really not nice to be trading. But right now we have a break below this trend line. We have a break below this structure. Nice bearish introduction. So what we can wait for is for a nice pullback. If I draw a fib for further confluence, we have the 38.2 sitting in that area, which is perfectly fine. And the EMA will start crossing this area by that time. Something like this. So this could be a very nice area to take the market to the downside. All right. So USD/JPY looking for sales, but first of all, I want to see a little bit of a pullback in around those areas as a retest, then a few, like at least one full hourly candle of rejection to indicate that the sellers are here. Then I'm going to jump to the hourly time frame to have a look at the behavior of the price. Is it rejecting? Do we have any bearish engulf? Do we have any rejections? And then of course, the 15-minute time frame, my favorite time frame, will be the execution. So let's see. Stay tuned for Tuesday analysis, and let's see if we have a sell on UJ. USD/CAD weekly time frame, this pair just keeps melting to the downside. As you can see, we have quite a lot of wicks with just bearish candle and not a single one to provide us with a pullback. So from a daily time frame perspective, as you can see, the last 5 days, starting from right here, we had a little bit of a bullishness, and this was a whole bunch of consolidation right here. So it was pretty hard to figure out what is happening on UCAD, because you can see it was a consolidation, push up, push back down, consolidation, failure to break. So if I delete this one, you start spotting that there were a few lower high formations that we could have traded. So I tried to capitalize on those. The first one, it was a nice push, but it was a very bullish pullback. Then we have a strong selling pressure, and if I go to the 15-minute, this just doesn't make a good setup for me, and it was again another manipulation to the upside. All right, so I was looking at it. Actually, I wanted to execute on the 50% of this candle, because if I go to the 5-minute, will I be able to see it right now? Yeah, if I go on the 5-minute, we have this push and we have this little pullback. So this was just a test. to trade with manipulation, which was very nice. So we had a nice TP to the downside, but I didn't take that trade. And then on the next one, when actually the sellers were confirmed, I started to look for a trade right here. But have a look what happens. It was just a madness. We have a whole bunch of consolidation, manipulation below, manipulation above, again a nice push to the downside, then again it starts to consolidate. So really nothing to be traded right here. Very tricky. So what do I expect right now? Well, everything is pointing to the downside. Right now, the market is already pulling back, trying to create a lower high, but it's a little bit too early to be looking for trades on Monday. If I jump on the hourly time frame, we have that nice push to the downside. We have a very bullish pullback. So definitely I need to see how the market is going to slow down around those areas, right? So if I jump on the 50-minute just to show you how I want to approach, like the market is already turning bearish. So what I need to see right now is the market to come into that area, start to consolidate, which will create a few hourly candles of rejection. And then on the break and the retest, then I will be looking for sales, all right? But first of all, I want to sell from a strong area, which is right here. Or I will need to see a break and a retest for potential longs, all right? So carefully looking at that area right here. If I delete everything, just for the market to come into that area, start to reject, and then potentially I will be looking for sales with the overall sell bias of the dollar. USD Swiss franc weekly time frame. So we have a bearish weekly candle to the downside. Nothing too significant. It's just pretty low, and as you can see, we're in a whole bunch of consolidation right here. If I just see 24th of August, we had a bearishness, then we have 2 days of consolidation, and on Thursday we have this massive spikes right here. And then on Friday, we start to melt down, but right now we are approaching a very strong supportive level to the downside. And if you just have a look what the price action was this whole week, starting from like here, 24th of August, it was just a consolidation, so nothing tradable. We had the spikes right here. Right now, it looks like we're having a break in the retest, and the market is already starting to push to the downside. But on USD Swiss franc, I am just letting this pair go because it hasn't been developing nice since quite some time, and I haven't taken a single trade of it. So I just patiently waiting for some clear price action. But if I am to lay out my expectations for the week ahead, well, we see bearish dollar and we see bearish structure. Right now, the market has already created a double top. It came to test that area again. Do we have a trade right here? Well, yeah, this is something what I want to see. The market coming again, starting to consolidate, and then on the break and on a potential retest, then I can look for a sell. But this is market close right now, so really nothing to be looking at. And what we can wait on this one, as it's already pushing to the downside, we can wait for it to create a lower low, then pull back for a lower high, and then try to sell it. But just be mindful of that supportive level on the left for any bullishness, all right? So USD Swiss franc, nothing really clear, so skipping that pair and waiting for some clear price action into the week. Alright, let's have a look at the GBPs starting from GU weekly time frame. So we have a massive bullish engulfing candle breaking above the highs, meaning that we have a very strong bullish week. And as you can see, since market opened 24th of August, we created that higher low formation, and we have that bullish engulf, which started to confirm the bias. And as you can see, we have a 50% retracement of that bullish engulf to give us a very nice tradable opportunity. Then on Thursday, the market found a little bit of a resistance right here, but then on Friday, it just pushed very strongly. So there were a few tradable opportunities. Like on Monday, there was actually a very nice short from right here, but then we started to break above, and then we came for a retest of exactly this area right here. Then we have this nice push to the upside, and the manipulation was created right here, which was a beautiful retest of the structure again. All right, so it was a little bit tricky to trade the GBP. As you can see, we have a strong push to the downside, a nice pullback right here, and that bearish engulf. So if I go to the 15-minute time frame, I believe there was a little bit of a break in the retest. Yep, exactly. So as you can see, push up, break, retest of this little structure, even if I make it smaller for you to see right here. So you can enter on the retest, and then you have a very nice push to the downside that you can safely catch at least a 3-hour trade. Let me have a look. Stop loss above. Nah, stop loss should be a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's 2R, but the stop loss is very big, like above that wick. So potentially you can place it something like this, not to be that aggressive, because if you expect this to be the manipulation and the retest, then you do not want to see the price climb again up here. So this was the first trade. That was on Monday. The second one, let me show you. So the second one was after the break and after the retest with this little manipulation right here. So if I jump on the 15-minute again, have a look what happens. The market consolidates a little bit around that area, strongly pushes to the downside to test that structure again, but yeah, this was pretty tricky. So then we had no break, we have no retest, so the entry should have been on the 5-minute as well, and then we have a massive push into the highs. And what do we do later? We jump into another consolidation. All right, and then again, what happens? You see that pattern, how much it repeats itself. Then we have a nice push to the downside again for a potential trade, and then we actually start to pump massively to the upside, which was manipulation again. Massive pump to the downside, then started to consolidate further, and then it was just a whole bunch of madness happening on the GBP. Overall, we had some setups, but I couldn't capitalize on any of them. I'm just trading my eyes to see those setups because the GBP can be very tricky sometimes. All right. So right now, what do we have? A strong push to the upside. What we can expect is the market to give us a little bit of a pullback for a potential higher low formation, and then we can start to look for buys. The hourly time frame is a little bit extended, so I would definitely expect a little bit of a pullback for a higher low formation, and then potentially taking the GU to the upside. All right, so bullish bias on GU, and as you can see, GJ, because of UJ, this one looks a little bit more sell bias, and this is because EJ as well, EU and EJ look the same, and as you can see, GU and GJ same correlation. So dropping to the weekly time frame, we have again a massive bullish engulfing to the upside, breaking the highs, meaning that we're overall trending to the upside. Daily time frame, starting from right here, we have this beautiful morning star formation, a little bit of a slowdown attempt to push up, actually creating the high, and then on Friday we have that indecision candle. So dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, we had the same situation right here as of GU after the creation of this supportive level. Right, so right here I did not see any tradable opportunities. We had just a little push, a little pullback, massive explosion to the upside, and then the market just started to consolidate, giving me no tradable opportunity. There was one right here again with that manipulation which happened on Thursday, strong push to the downside to tap that area, and then we start to explode to the upside. All right, looking like creating a higher high, but then we strongly plunge to the downside, breaking the lows right here. Looking like it's a break and a retest. So right now GJ is slightly bit confusing, so I'm gonna give it some time and see what it wants to do. Still, if I want to keep my higher low, this will be the structure. I have my high as well. Oops. So I want to see how the market is going to react to both of those areas. Again, a few situations, the market might come into that area, start to consolidate, and then provide me with the buy. The market might consolidate in the middle, or the market can come up right here, and then we have to see if it's going to break in the retest or if it's going to start to consolidate and provide us with a short bias. And this is why it's pretty important for us to be patient. Wait for Monday, let's see what's gonna happen, and then we can potentially readjust our analysis according to the structure, and then we can start looking for trades within the trend and within the pressure, right? Because if we have a massive selling pressure right now to the downside like this, then I will not be going long anymore, although GU is bullish, because I will be looking for a break in the retest and a continuation to the downside. This is why it's pretty important to always stay and go with the flow, right? Enough with my ramp. GA, weekly time frame, bearish candle to the downside, but this pair was just it was just, so I'm just gonna drop to the 4-hourly time frame to show you what's happening right here. 24th of August, we had this whole bunch of consolidation right here. Push up, push down, push up, push down, and from an hourly time frame we just have this movement. So it was pretty tricky to catch a trade on this one. Then we have this strong push to the downside with a pullback. So first tradable opportunity right here, but it was just too quick, it was too fast, and the price action was not clear. I usually don't trade GA, and I'm happy that I don't. It's too volatile. It provides with pretty nice setups sometimes, but it's very tricky to catch a trade on it. And as you can see right now, we're starting to pump to the downside. But if you just zoom out a little bit, I usually don't zoom out too much, but you can see that we're sitting in an overall consolidation box. All right. So I usually love to look at the most recent price action that we had a break right now, and we're potentially having a retest, and the price action is down. So I will be looking for sales. However, keep in mind that we have some supportive levels around those areas right here. So yeah, we can expect absolutely everything. As for the structure right now, it's really nothing clear. It's just wicked candles dropping to the downside, creating a little bit of a lower high right here. But as for GA, I'm just waiting for something clear, guys, and really not paying attention to it until I see a clear price action, which this is not for me. All right. As for expectations, well, short bias, what I need to see, well, the market will consolidate potentially around this area. We're already pushing to the downside, so this is not a nice place to sell it. So if the market comes back again into this area, fails to break above, consolidates a little bit, and on the break and the retest, I will be looking for shorts. All right, so this is GA, so make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis in order to see what do we have. And Euro GBP, let's see, what do we have? A strong bearish candle to the downside, indicating selling pressure. Daily time frame, the last 5 days, we started a little bit of a consolidation, then we start to drop a little bit of indecision candle, and then on Friday we actually made the move to the lows. So what do we have right here? We have that strong bearish pressure to the downside, bullish pressure back up, a little bit of a consolidation, introduction of the sellers right here. Then we started to consolidate, then we manipulated above. So this was the only trade that could have been taken. As you can see, consolidation, manipulation below, manipulation above. So this week was full of manipulation, and then we actually make the move to the downside. All right, so overall bearish pressure and bearish bias on Euro GBP. We have our lower high right now, we have a creation of a lower low. So what I will be expecting of this market is for it to pull back around those areas to create a lower high, and then I will be looking for the sells. So this is the GBP, guys. Make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis to see what has happened on Monday. And overall, not very clear market, but let's see what do we have for the month ahead. Let's have a very quick look on gold. So as you can see, we have a formation right here of a higher low from a weekly time frame perspective, and we have a bullish week actually. So dropping to the daily time frame, this was in an overall consolidation right here. It's accumulating for something, but is it going to be a move to the upside or to the downside? We don't know. But as you can see, we have this consolidation box. It tried to break, tries to push lower, but fails. Then we have this introduction of bullishness again. Then we have this whole bunch of manipulation. And right now we're making the move to the upside. All right, so gold looks more buy bias than sell bias to me, because we have broken above this structure. So if I have a little bit of a pullback in around those areas, then we can start looking for buys, and with first targets around those areas right here. So gold, I am betting on a long bias, but I just want to see if the market is gonna pull back to create a little bit of a clearer higher low formation, and then potentially I'm gonna strike it to the upside. And wrapping up the video with the indices, so US30 is climbing to the upside very nicely. We had a setup that actually played out. It was from a 4-hourly time frame perspective. So what we can see for the last 5 days, the market opened in a very bullish manner, which actually did not provide us with a very clear setup, because I was looking for a break and a retest of that trend line. But as you know, US30 is very impulsive, and once it created that first higher low formation, it just exploded massively to the upside, and then we had another higher low potentially to trade from it, and then we have a nice higher high. So what do I expect for the week ahead? Well, we have a break of this structure. We already had a little retest, but what I want to see is the market to come again to form a real supportive level. Around this kind of area right here, and then potentially we can take it to the upside if the stocks, if those 30 companies are doing good. And as you can see, Nasdaq, so I expected a little bit of a pullback into the beginning of the week, which actually happened. So if I go to the 24th of August, you see this was the pullback right here. So I expect a little break and a retest of that structure. Here it is, break, retest on the 24th, then we consolidate a little bit, then we break above, and then we create new higher highs. And right now, again, consolidating. This is our higher low, and this is our higher highs right now. So the market is in a little bit of a consolidation. So what I need to see, I've spotted that the indices usually work very nice with momentum. So if the market starts to massively push to the upside, then maybe on a 5-minute retest or just with a buy stop, you can start buying the market, and we can start pumping into the upside again. All right, so I'm overall bullish on the indices, but again, we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe another crash is upcoming, so this is why you have to always stay volatile and adapt to the markets. All right, so I really hope you got something from this weekly outlook, guys. Although it wasn't very fun to analyze because I didn't have any trades. It's been like 2 weeks since I had a nice trade, but I really hope that September is gonna open nicely right now and everything is gonna start flourishing. All right. So make sure to submit your email so that you can receive news for the upcoming course. Make sure to like the video, make sure to leave me some feedback below if you like the content and if you want to see more from my channel. Thank you for staying up until now. I really appreciate you, and I wish you an amazing and a crushing week.